Hello and welcome to the Ross Cloud Podcast. I'm your host, Actor Singer, and this platform was created to motivate and to inspire in hopes that you will become a better you. I'd like to make sure I give a shout out to all of those that are listening pretty much all over the world. We're super excited about what's happening with the Ross Cloud Podcast, but more importantly, we're excited about you guys tuning in and listening. So shout out to North Carolina, where I'm from, North Carolina, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. The Trey Foe in the building. We are here, right here in Greensboro, North Carolina, over in Boardman and Raleigh. Listen, Boardman, thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. You guys really have been representing to the fullest, and I really do appreciate you guys. The Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, of course, and surrounding areas, Raleigh, Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Everybody all over North Carolina, thank you for tuning in. Here on stateside, Virginia and California, and just everywhere, you guys. I tell you, man, you guys are showing up and showing out for a brother, and I really do appreciate it. Over there in Brussels, Belgium, thank you guys for tuning in. Bonjour to our French-speaking folks over in Brussels, Belgium, and hello to our Flemish and Dutch folks that listen. Listen, I really do appreciate you guys. I haven't spoken to you guys in a while, but thank you guys for listening in Russia and Senegal and India. Listen, all over Canada, man, I really do appreciate you guys. So listen, I'm not going to hold you guys up any longer. I have a very, very special guest here with me that has come aboard the Ross Cloud. He is an actor, singer, and choreographer, and someone who I consider a dear friend, the one and only, we going to call him D.Jerome, but I know him as Devonte Jerome Wells. Thank you so much for tuning in with us, brother. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on with you? I'm doing well today, man. Thanks so much for having me on the Ross Cloud. Hey, man, it's such an honor and a pleasure to be back in the space with you, my brother.
Yes, indeed. So listen, man, I'll give y'all guys a quick story real quick. Me and Devonte had the wonderful opportunity of being on stage together for about 3 years or so. It was a wonderful experience. I consider him a friend, but also someone that I was able to learn from as well while being on stage. We totally enjoyed what we did at the time, and it was a wonderful experience, by being that it was my first time on stage, but it was just wonderful. It was just absolutely wonderful, and it's one that I'll cherish for the rest of my life. It was the first thing I ever did, but it'll be one that I will always cherish because the first time I got myself broke into the business, if you would. And then, so now we're here, and Devonte, I'm telling you, man, first of all, I'm proud of you. Let me say that, because we don't say it enough to one another. I'm proud of you, man, for some of the accomplishments, man, that you have achieved thus far, and just your continued success. But listen, we're going to go ahead and get into it, man. Can you tell the folks where you're from?
Hey, right back at you, Chris, right back at you. I appreciate that. I'm from the great Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
336. You know what I'm saying? The Trey Foe is.
Yes, sir.
It's a great city. So excited that I'm representing it well at this point in my life. From Winston-Salem, born and raised. Yeah, man.
Oh, right on. And right now you reside where? Where are you at now?
Right now I'm in New York City.
Come on, man. Come on now. Yes, sir.
Back to New York City.
I love it.
I made some transitions, and of course, oftentimes the industry will pull you and let you know what you need to do.
Yeah.
Some moves you need to make.
Yes, sir.
So definitely up here in New York City, a little place called Harlem. Renaissance.
Come on now. Talk that talk, baby.
So that's how it goes. Hey, yeah, man. But I'm always repping the home front.
Yes, sir. I absolutely love it, man. So what has life been like for you since you've been in Harlem, man? That's just got to be the coolest experience ever. But, can you tell the folks what it's been like for you thus far?
Well, I just got back this year, January of this year.
Okay.
before that, I made a move to Atlanta and did a few things,
Okay.
did some work, so we can talk about that. But
Sure.
since being back in New York City, it's felt like there's actually been another renaissance. You know, so many aspiring artists, or even artists like myself, who have been here before.
Yeah.
As we all know, we lived during and we're living through COVID and so many other things. A lot of people are coming back and finding that spark again, and finding ways to still preserve the performing arts and our culture as we know it. Continue to, you know, drive the next generation and pour into our own community. So it's been amazing. It's been a renaissance right before my eyes. I see many opportunities opening up for artists like myself. And, you know, when you see the time and you know the time is right, you know, you got to go for it.
Yeah, you seize the moment.
Yeah. It's been great getting back.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love your drive. So I got to ask you, I'm going to ask you like two questions. Where did you get your drive from, number one? And then secondly, what were some of the challenges that you faced when you said, okay, it's go time? What were some of the challenges that you faced, and what has this transition been like for you?
My drive, I'd like to think that my drive comes from within. I'd like to think that.
Yeah.
But, you know, a lot of people, you know, would say, oh, well, they got to come from somewhere. You know, where'd it come from? I think, you know, God placed a very specific type of gift on my life. You know, being a singer and a dancer, all that stuff, that's great. But my drive always, I think it comes from wanting to return the gift that he's blessed on me to those around me.
Yeah.
So, you know, whatever space I enter in, I want to be a light. I want to show somebody, you know, maybe what God looks like and what he feels like in the space. So where there's love, you know, that clearly God is there.
Absolutely.
You know? So my when you talk about my drive comes from that. It comes from knowing that that my Creator thought enough of me to bless me with this type of magnitude of talent.
Yes.
And I can show I can do His work through.
That's right.
And so the rooms that I step into, I try to exude that type of light and show the love of God.
Yeah.
Been in middle school or, you know, transitioning into high school, and I said, I thought to myself, those were the times where I really saw my talents start to synergize and work together. You know, start making those things. And I started making those connections. Career-wise, I'm going to get this out because I know it's probably
go ahead.
But you said, when did I know it was go time?
Yeah.
I came home. I had first gone to New York in 2015.
Gotcha.
Spent some time in the city there, so it was amazing to be in the city during that time, working with people like George Faison, first African Tony Award winner. You know, Felicia Rashad was on that project, Andre DeShields, another Tony Award winner. And I was able to seize that moment of being the gatekeeper in The Wiz.
Yeah.
After that, I played Jimmy Early in Richmond, and then I was like, I got to go home. My grandfather was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and so passed away shortly after that. And I was home. I knew it's something about being home and around your family.
Yeah.
Things like that are going on. So it's always been a hard thing to be away from family, especially when things are happening like that. So I went home and I taught for 4 years. I taught, you know, in this public school system, 6th to 12th grade, taught dance, taught theater, you know, and some things like that. I got sick in February of 2021. Happened was I was there and I got sick last year in 2021 February, and after that I must have had an encounter with maybe like an amino acid, if you will.
Okay, gotcha.
And so I went into kidney failure, and so
Wow.
You know, trying to condense this story, I went in the hospital. I was there 7 days, and my kidneys had dropped as low as 8% function.
No.
And they told me they needed to put me on dialysis, and I went on dialysis. Some progress. But that was after being in the hospital 7 days, and then I had to go to treatment. The last day of treatment, because I didn't tell anybody, because I knew that God was going to heal my body. I knew that the work wasn't done.
That's right.
And so the last day of my treatment, a woman said to me, she said, "Hey, let me talk to you." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And she said, close the door behind you. So, you know, somebody got to close the door. I'm like, oh, this must be serious.
Yes, sir.
She said to me, those things that God promised you, they're going to happen. Now, this woman does not know me.
Yeah.
She doesn't know anything about me. But she said to me, she said, those things that he promised you, they're going to come to pass. He needed this to happen so that he could continue to get the glory out of it. And after that day, I had my mind set on, you know, what my purpose was. And after that, I was like, boom, moved to Atlanta, went for it. You know, all through the wall, you know, theater, film, started doing some things. And then I was like, I gotta do it. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen now. So in terms of, you know, that was my moment to know, hey, gotta go for it.
Yes.
The transition, you know, it comes with its challenges.
Absolutely.
It comes with its challenges, most definitely, and it comes with the moments where you get some recognition. You know, I take this moment right here as like, okay, somebody sees.
Yes.
You know what I'm putting out. And now it's time to kind of share that story. So
yeah.
It's been a challenge, but it has been fruitful nonetheless.
Yes. I think that's wonderful that you said that. You know, when you think about the scripture, and you know, I'm not real preachy, but as one thing, not too religious, but there's one thing that I do have is I do believe that God exists. I do believe that he's in us, he's for us, he's with us. And I do believe that there is a season under the sun in which all of us have an opportunity. And you, sir, I looked at it and I said, you know, when you think about that scripture, don't despise small beginnings. Like I said, I don't know it verbatim, but when it's in your heart, you just know. And so because I'm looking at this as, you know, I was looking at it like, man, this is a small beginning, but he's doing some great things. And when you know people and you know how extremely talented they are, but you also know the work that they put into what they've done and what they continue to do, then you have to reach out right now until it's you have to get to them before that bag. I said, Lord, I got to get him before. And yes, sir. I said, Lord, I got to get him before he go. What I said is, when the bag get to him, Lord, I got to have some sponsorship there so we can afford what he needs. I said, but until we all get there, I'm finna make me a quick phone call right quick.
Man, they better take note, and you know, and the humbleness of it all, being humble and
yes,
you know what I'm saying, it keeps it light. But I'm excited that somebody can see that the bag is upon us.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to tell you, and I know it is. Yes, so I said, Lord, I'm gonna seize this moment right now because I see what he's doing, and being that you're multi-talented, so you can act, you can sing, you can dance, and you do choreography. Just an all-around artist, in my opinion. So, where did arts start for you? When did it begin? I heard you say middle school a few minutes ago, but I know it probably had to start earlier than that, though, Devonte. For some reason, I feel like it does.
Yeah. since I knew how to talk, I could always sing.
I got you. Yeah.
My mom always shares. She doesn't really share this story, but 2 months before I was born, my lungs hadn't developed. So she was bedridden for about 3 months.
Wow.
Prior to me being born, and I said, okay, that's a sign,
Yeah.
Maybe that's why, I can sing that way.
That's right.
And then when I started thinking about the arts, where did it come from? I was in elementary school. I began to participate in some school showcases and productions.
Sure.
Very small productions, and I realized, okay, I like to rap. They made me, when we in the class where you start talking about the weeds and the flowers.
Yes, sir.
They made me the weeds. Now, off the record, I'm at a predominantly white school.
Sure.
In a town that may have a lot of racial prejudice, and they made me the weeds. So in my mind now, as I got older, I said, they created that moment to work against me. In a sense. Right. I was so talented. And the way I would rap the stuff, it made it cool. And everybody loved it.
Correct, yeah.
Wait a minute. I was like, wait a minute. There's something in there.
Yeah.
And then 5th grade came, and I played Mr. Billy Bonkers at the middle school factory. But this 6th grade going to the middle school, so
sure.
I found that, and I was like, And then they were having me sing, Star Spangled Banners. And it was like I started to find it there. And I really can't say for sure, but when I knew I believe my family had a lot to do with it. So my grandfather used to create songs out of nothing.
Yeah, I got you.
We would be sitting there, he'd be talking to us, and he'd start singing about things that we would see and just find different melodies and be all up in a higher range.
Sure.
Down low.
Sure.
Do that. My uncles, when they used to watch us, they used to entertain us.
Yeah.
So they would run and joke with us, and run in the pantry, open the door, and do a little skit, and go back behind the door. So a lot of times we were seeing it in front of us.
Yeah.
And not knowing at that point that I was developing characters in mind or developing certain skills and talents that I had just by being around the community and my family. So,
yes.
I want to say that's, it was so early.
Yeah.
And I could always move. I could always somehow sing, and I was quick on my feet. I could learn the lines like that.
Yeah.
So, Will Smith says something. He says, I don't, view myself as particularly talented. Where I excel is mind-blowing work ethic. I thank God for my talent, but also for the work ethic.
Yes, sir.
That's what changed it. And because I had it so early, and I was really hard on myself early on.
Yeah.
I would cut myself no slack early on. I'm like, nah, man, this gotta be right.
Right.
It came back and it returned to me full circle.
Okay. And that's super, super awesome to hear that. This platform is created to motivate and to inspire through other people's stories, their experiences in life. So I hope you guys have heard something thus far that can help you guys, but we're going to go ahead and keep it going. There is some. Yeah.
You got some more in there.
Right. There's some more in there. And so, there is one thing that I wanted, which is good because this is a segue to go into how you took it a step further. Because I follow you, again, because you're a friend too, and I'm super proud of you, there was one thing that I saw where you talked about becoming SAG-AFTRA. And, for those of you that don't know what that is, that's the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. And it was such a pivotal moment for you because I personally heard you talk about it a couple of times, maybe not in details, but a couple of times I heard you, say something about it. with some of our other colleagues at the time that we were on the road with. You guys were conversing about it. And so to see you take it even a step further and say, you know what? If I really, really want this, then I have to go to the upper echelon of this thing. I can't play with this thing. I got to do what I got to do. I got to, whatever it's going to cost me, whatever the price is that I got to pay to get in that lane, then I've got to get in that lane. So with me saying that, what has that experience been like? And is it an expensive, thing to do for yourself? That's just, if I said that right, I might have kind of went around the world with it, but can it be pricey to become that? And was it worth it? So I said probably about 4 questions in there, brother.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand. I got you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I think a lot of people,
Yes,
are wondering that. And I had those questions
sure.
before I embarked on the journey as well.
Yeah.
And so I want to go back just
Sure.
a little bit.
Yes.
Before getting to that. Anything in life worth having.
Come on.
It's gonna come with a cost. They say that'll work, boss. That'll work.
Yes, sir.
Anything in life worth having is gonna come with a cost. So
that's right.
In theater, we have something called Actors Equity Association.
Gotcha.
And then on the film side, we have Screen Actors Guild.
Correct.
And after,
yes.
SAG-AFTRA.
Yes.
So when I started out, right when I came through school,
yeah,
I started and I had my first professional experience.
Yeah.
And then I got a job that was going to pay well. And I had the opportunity to join a union. Now,
gotcha.
Some people get a little nervous about it because it's like,
yeah,
well, I'll never work. So you just spoke that.
Right.
So if you spoke, I'll never work because I'm in the union. So when you say I'll never work, now you'll never work.
You'll never work.
You
yeah,
made it.
You said that.
So when I thought about it, right, whatever you speak is what you're going to see. So
come on.
When I had the opportunity to join the union, I was like, I don't know. Like, is it a good time to do that?
Sure.
And so I did. So as far as Actors Equity, it was a bit expensive for me at the time.
Understood.
At that time, it must have been, $1,600 to join.
Sure.
But they give you opportunities, so if the application was like $100,
yes,
you pay a $400 sort of down payment, and then you pay the rest through the contracts that you'll get. And if you're working, you won't feel it.
You won't feel it.
If you're not working,
you feel it.
So,
that's facts, yeah.
To the creator,
yes,
it was hours working, so I didn't really feel it that much.
Yes.
And I was able to protect myself and, have Beyonce said something like, pay me in equity. Yeah, pay me in the assets,
Yes.
Put me up, treat me right.
Yes.
Because I'm going to deliver for you in that way. In terms of SAG, I stumbled upon this.
Wow. Ain't that something?
It's who you know. When they say it's who you know, please hear
it's facts.
Sometimes it's not what you know.
It's who you know.
Who you know.
That's so true.
I got an opportunity to work on a film in Atlanta, and it's gonna come out, so I
got
can't
you.
Talk too much about it.
I understand.
But I'm gonna give enough. So
yes, I understand.
I got an opportunity. One of my good friends was away on a job, and he couldn't fill the part that he had been hired for. He was like, I need somebody close to the same size, same height, all of that.
Yeah.
Same talent.
Yeah.
And he was like, look, I need you to go do this. So I was like, all right, cool.
Right.
So that was it.
Yeah.
And once I went in for the fitting, if you can fit, most of the time, if you can fit the clothes, you get the job.
You get the job.
It's not the other way around. Sometimes they'll, do your measurements and stuff, but other times you got to fit the costume to be able to get the parts.
I understand.
Then I went, and they talk about, you want to talk about, is it expensive? I was in Atlanta. I had to, out of the blue, drive an hour to the space.
Yes.
To just be fitted.
Yeah.
I still have to make it to work. I still got to do all of this stuff, and this is on the drop of a dime. So, who's to say that you have that money sitting aside to support that life?
Talk that.
So sometimes you are on the wing in a prayer.
Yes, sir.
So I'm driving. I ain't gonna say I'm on E, but I'm pushing it, boss. The light might be on.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Might have been on.
Right.
But I went in. I was able to get fitted, and they called me and they were like, "Okay, so as you know, or at the time I didn't know, they bumped the agreement, which means they bumped the contract. You got like an upgrade.
Okay, gotcha.
To the type of agreement. So at first, when you're background, you don't really get some of that equity or some of those perks, or those benefits that some people in film would get. But because they upgraded this agreement, I went from background, which I was never hired in the first place, but that role went from background to principal.
Wow.
When you go from background to principal, it shifts it, and it says now you're basically you're treated as SAG. So
yes.
You do an application, the starter packet, and all of that, and you have fees, and they come with specific things. They always change, but you will pay your taxes and you pay some down payments.
Sure.
It can be upper size, 3,000, 36.
Sure.
Looking at it, it changes sometimes, but all of that to say that anything worth having is not going to come without a cost.
Yes. And
if you are about that life,
yes,
it's something that you want to do in the long run.
Yes.
What can it hurt?
It can't hurt anything.
If you believe in yourself, and if you're always going to invest in yourself, why not invest in yourself the right way? So that in the future, it'll come back. I can't expect a return on my investment the day after I did it.
Right. Come on. Yeah.
That's like people who invest in stock. You
yes.
can't expect to get a return on it. The next day you let it build.
You got to let it build. Let it build.
I will say that, if you're looking for that return, it can be considered expensive.
Yes.
But then you have to look at it. What are you worth?
Yes.
What's your value?
Yes.
Everything that I've invested, I've either received a return on, or it's moved me and positioned me. It's putting me in a better position.
Yes. Yes. And I love that. Can you tell the folks how important it is to be in place for the come up? How important is that? How valuable is that to just be ready when it's time and to be in place?
It's funny that you say that, because I think sometimes we have a misconception of what it means to be ready or to be in place.
Come on.
I think sometimes we want to feel 100%.
Yeah, come
ready,
on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Did you feel I can ask you, did you feel 100% ready to embark upon the Ross Cloud podcast?
I was not. I made so many mistakes from the beginning. Sound, dialogue, my delivery, and I wasn't ready. But I knew I wanted to do it.
But in real life, you had to go through that.
I had to.
So that it could serve the better position.
Yes.
So sometimes we're not ready, but in real life you are, because you can only be as ready as you are, at this moment.
Yes.
You don't know. You have a conception that, I need these things, or I need to be better in these areas to be ready. Oftentimes it's about the practice.
Yeah.
So the importance of positioning, getting back to what we were talking about, the importance of positioning has everything to do with outcome. You can't expect to move forward if you're in the wrong place, or if you're around the wrong crowd.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people, they say birds of a feather flock together. So how are you? Which way are you going? And are you going the right way? Are you around the right people?
Yeah.
So sometimes I think listening to the inner voice, I'll speak a little more clearly.
Sure.
Listening to your inner voice,
and
intuition is what can serve as a guide to be in the right place. I've had a lot of mentors over the years. And
Sure.
I've also encountered some individuals and spirits that sometimes I felt like didn't serve me the best.
Understood.
But all in all, I learned something. So I don't ever walk away with
Come on now.
with malice or envy or anything.
Yes.
I learned from it.
Yes.
I appreciate.
Yes. Yes.
I still appreciate it nonetheless.
Yeah.
And I appreciate those people.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yes.
and sometimes there's nothing, we don't have to put something negative on it.
Not at all.
Add negativity to
Not
it.
at
I
all.
can say this is the truth. This is what it was at that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pull the gems I need from that.
There you go.
That situation, that environment, that relationship, and I'm going to make it serve my progress. So a lot of times positioning is intentional, and it is very important to your progress. That's the only thing I'm attached to.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That was beautifully said. I was sharing that with somebody else. I was saying, there's not a bad situation that I felt like I've ever been in, because from every situation that I've been in, I was able to pick up so many gems that led me to what I'm doing now. So being up under the tutelage, sometimes you made of something else or a person, place, or thing, you may not necessarily agree with how things run or how they're done. And guess what? That's okay. That's okay. But the one thing that I would say is not okay is for you not to be a sponge, for you not to learn, for a person not to look around and see how things are done, so that if there's something that you don't agree with, then you say to yourself, well, I'm not going to do that when my time comes, and then leave it alone, and then move on and do what's best for you. And so I think that was wonderfully said, what you said. And I think so many people need to hear that. We get so stuck on loyalty, but there is a toxic piece to that, too, that we don't talk about much. And I was wondering if you could elaborate a little bit from your perspective on toxic loyalty.
That's a good one. That's a good one, Paul. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I feel like you can give your perspective on that. I have yet to give a perspective on it, but I'd like to hear from other folks that are in the industry to just talk about loyalty, but the toxic piece that comes along with loyalty. And sometimes you can miss out on some things because of it. But go ahead.
I actually just came through a situation that involved an idea or a conversation around loyalty.
Sure.
And the conversation was only with myself. Because, everybody can perceive things the way they want.
Absolutely.
One of the opinion, and I don't want to say this wrong, but
sure,
your opinion has to matter.
Yeah.
Your own personal opinion has to matter.
Absolutely.
Because that's almost aligned with your integrity.
Yeah.
So loyalty, I had a conversation with myself about loyalty versus integrity.
Yeah.
So when you talk about toxic loyalty, that is the reason for a lot of people's downfall.
Yes.
That's the reason for a lot of people's stifled progress.
Yes.
Because you're trying to be loyal to situations,
sure,
and to relationships,
sure,
that really don't require that.
Right.
That is an expectation that sometimes we place on ourselves because it's like, that's how I want to be treated.
Sure.
So let me be an example.
Yeah.
When in return, sometimes we kind of cancel ourselves out. It's like something that cancels out.
Yeah.
We're fighting a losing battle, because if somebody else perceives loyalty a bit different, they may not even be thinking to do something that I feel is is a huge stakeholder in loyalty. So
I get it.
Toxic. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I get it. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So toxic loyalty to me is something where I would define it as when you are it's almost like a bad relationship. It's a bad relationship.
Yeah.
Whether it's with your idea of a specific type of loyalty, or it could also be to a person or a situation. So
sure.
Toxic loyalty is when you are committed to something that is not for your progress.
I get it. Yes.
That's how I would look at it. And oftentimes we hold ourselves back because we think, oh, this person did this for me.
Yeah.
So I gotta do this for them, or I have to stick in it through them, dismissing any forms of disrespect or, dismissiveness, like being dismissed, or, oftentimes going unheard.
Yeah.
Matters that matter to you.
Yeah.
It's a rough playing field. And so what happened was I had a situation where I was brought somewhere to do a show, and
sure.
The company let go of the person that I was there to support.
Understood.
As an artist.
Yeah.
And so when that person was let go, my professionalism had to kick in, and I had to say, okay, I came here because it was a job. There's a job to do.
Sure.
And I do the job. Now, the universe had already designed that situation to get me repositioned to where I wanted to be.
Absolutely.
Which was in another space, another job. But the way I had to close that situation out was I had to make sure that my integrity weighed more than that toxic loyalty. That was being in a sense, it was being reflected onto me, or it was being projected. It was being projected on me.
Yes.
And I had to recognize that, you want me to be loyal to this situation because it didn't work out in your favor.
Correct.
But it has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure, I'm going to see what aligns with my integrity as a professional. And thank God I got options. We thank God for options. And I want people to understand, when I say thank God, I thank God, the universe, my creator. I think God is non-binary, so even if I say he, I can say Mother, Father, God.
Yes.
I can say all those things, but
We
are thankful that the universe can help us manifest what we want.
Yeah.
And so I was able to put my integrity in place and not be drowned by that loyalty that was happening.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I knew you could add your perspective to that, and I wanted to ask you because, sometimes as artists, sometimes people only look at you one way, and they put you in like this box of, well, he's just an artist. No, he's more than an artist, or she's more than an artist. And I think it's very important that we ask questions like that so people can see how well-rounded of an individual the person is. And thank you for asking. Thank you for answering that, because I'm sure there are others who may be struggling with that. They may be struggling with that. I myself, I must admit, for many years of my life, I was loyalty to a fault to things that may not have been good for me. But again, there are ways that you can, what is the word that I'm looking for? There is a way that you can be a benefactor to those things, though. But if you don't wake up, we use that word woke a lot, but I'm telling you, once you wake up, when Adam wakes up, when Eve wakes up, when we wake up as a people and start really seeing things for what they are, because if it's in your face, then it is what it is. It's not a lie. And so once you wake up and you really start understanding what this big engine the industry is, then you start putting things in perspective, and then you start protecting yourself in so many different ways. I had to do that. There's still things that I'm doing. Copywriting was one of the first things that I did to protect the Ross Cloud brand. You have to protect it. And yes, it may cost you a couple of $100, but them couple of $100 is going to save you so that no one comes along and steal the brand that God gave you, that created it. Because really, God gave you, when he gives you something, it's yours. It's a gift. The creator God, he has gifted us to do some things, some wonderful things. And if we tap into him, we tap into the creator, and we can be a benefactor of so many different things. We are creators. He's a God in us. And I think when we understand that, he breathes and lives and walks and talks. He's in us. He is a live being. We are alive. When you see me, you see God. We are made in his likeness and his image.
Yeah, I love how you say that, man. It's one of those things I think oftentimes we think of God as, something that's, we do. Not spooky, but people are like, oh, but they always got to talk about God. They always got to talk.
No.
Well, if you have a real experience with something that is supernatural, or something in your life that has happened that you
can't explain it,
that you can't explain, or when you feel that vibration, from when your family is sitting around singing, or when you go to a service,
come on now,
certain type of music or sound, that's the soul, and you cry out of cry out of grief. And you release it, or you find joy.
Yes.
Anything that cannot be explained. I think you can associate that with something that's supernatural.
Yes.
Sometimes some folk just call it God.
Yeah, it's just what it is.
And we okay with that. So I want everybody to know that we love everybody. Everybody, but that's it was. I mean, you said that so powerfully, and I appreciate my relationship with you, brother. Like, you've been a friend.
Yes, man.
You've been a mentor. I've watched you.
Oh man, thank you, man.
Even when we were on stage or rehearsing, I'm like, this dude's saying that he's never done this.
I never done. I'm gonna tell you. Listen, I'm gonna tell you now. My first experience being on stage. I was in chorus for many years. So I was in, we traveled. I was with, what do we call it? Show choir in school. Yeah. I started off in junior high school. Well, in junior high school, a lot of people don't know this, but I played the alto sax in the 8th and 9th grade. But I know it, but I did it in the 8th and 9th grade. But I didn't have a love and passion for the instrument. I love the instrument. I love the sound of the instrument. I love everything. The tone of the instrument is what I fell in love with it. The way it looks, the way it feels, the keys, everything about the instrument, the woodwind, the reeds. I fell in love with the instrument. And so, but I didn't want to do the work either. So 8th and 9th grade was fun. I enjoyed it. But I remember I told my mom, I said, Mom, I know you spent a lot of money on this instrument, but I don't think I want to do this. I don't want to do it. There are things when it comes to being a artist at that magnitude of playing a saxophone, there's a lot that comes along with that. The rattling of the teeth, the lips, it's a lot that comes along with that instrument, the breathing technique, everything about that is just like singing. Breathing's got to be on point. There's a workout element that has to come along with all of those things. So, if you want to be the best, there's just certain things you got to do. But at any rate, I digress. But yeah, show choir, many years, for about a year, I sung with the Twin City Choristers in Winston-Salem. Yes, I sung with them. So yeah, man, I had an opportunity to do some great things when it comes to singing, a couple of opportunities, but this ain't about me. But at any rate, I digress. But
I appreciate it.
Man, let me tell you something. I have thoroughly, and speaking of God, when I watched you dance, I think I want to say Atlanta. I don't know what. No, you know what? You danced at, I'll just go ahead and say it. You danced at Mount Zion Baptist Church, and I think that might have been close to the last show you did, I think we did Atlanta, and I think Atlanta might have been the last show that you did, if I'm not mistaken. But at any rate, I felt like, most of the time when we see dancers, unless you really tap in, then you really can't see God. You can't feel God. But I think this was the first time, because I've been exposed to the arts all of my life. So when I saw you dance on that last dance you did at Mount Zion, man, that was the first time that I felt what in church we like to call the Holy Ghost. Hallelujah.
Come on now. Good stuff. Good stuff.
But I felt that anointing off of every plie, every spin, every jump that you did till you're hitting the floor. That was my first time having the experience saying, okay, he tapped in. He tapped into the divine. He's tapped in something greater than him. And it showed. And so you get it. There are a lot of artists that just get it. And this right here is why I wanted to create this platform. Yes, I love everybody. But I just felt like for so many years, North Carolina on a whole, we don't hear about these extraordinary individuals that are in North Carolina that are doing some amazing things. But because, again, this is North Carolina, you won't know it. You just won't know it unless you find a way to get this information out to people to say, hey, North Carolina, we here. Hey, we here. Yeah, we got J. Cole. We got the baby. We got Petey Pablo who did some, and we got some others. Yeah, we got some others too now that doing some amazing things outside of North Carolina. This is where they reside, but they working in L.A. So I just felt like when creating this platform, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to bring people on who would have a voice that would say something, and I just knew you would be a voice that could help others. And so as we go into that, I kind of want to go into a great segue to talk about exactly what you're doing now. What's going on with Devonte right now?
Yeah, man. Hey.
Well, and I know you can't tell it all. I know you can't tell it all, but, I know there's certain things you can tell. But I can tell you're very happy. You're very excited. And we got to talk about this EP too, man, because I heard a couple of the I support. So I saw you on Instagram a couple times. I said, that Negro can sing. That Negro can sing. You know how black folks get. That Negro can sing. But let's talk about everything that you have going on right now at this moment. I'm excited about it. I'm excited for you. Go ahead.
Hey, I just want to say, this platform is definitely doing what you set out for it to do.
Yeah.
It's been a blessing.
Yeah.
Even just listening in on some of the interviews, I'm like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Or, hey, they really, he's really exposing these multifaceted folks.
Yes.
And they're North Carolinians.
Yeah.
All this stuff, they're from all over. So
yeah,
that's something that is really nice to see.
Yeah.
A lot of times we don't talk about the magic that happens in Winston-Salem.
Yeah.
Like, there were often times I used to think, hey, I'm from somewhere else, man. I can't be from Winston. I was born and raised in Winston. I'm like, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm the type of guy that was dancing,
yeah,
in the middle of the street, using the street light.
Yeah.
See my shadow and find a way to work on my lines, my port de bras, and my jumps, and use just a little hood boy in the middle of the street using the street light.
I love it. Yes.
Rehearse myself. I use my shadow.
Yeah.
As my mirror. So one day they'll see the story where I write the treatment up where they're the guy who used the street light.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, I love that. Yeah.
I just wanted to say thank you for that. I'm glad that God was able to use me in that way.
Yes.
For you to see and to use me to minister through dance. I think a lot of times we don't realize that ministry is not just about church.
No, it's not. It's so not.
You know, and whatever gift you have, whatever, you know, and it's not always art based.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a gift.
Yes.
This platform is a gift.
Yeah.
And it's ministry.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, I was able to use dance. You know, I never thought I was going to be a dancer. Let me share
Okay.
that. I never thought I'd be
Really?
I never wanted to be a dancer.
That is interesting. Yeah.
Culturally we have, negative stigma.
Oh,
with
yeah.
dance.
Sure.
It's a lot of things placed on dance artists that, oftentimes that's not even associated.
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
But
Man, don't nobody care. Don't nobody
that's
care.
a conversation
Yeah.
that, needs to happen. Which is why I enjoyed the work that we were doing
Yes.
together, because I
Yeah.
felt that there were opportunities
Yes.
to speak on those topics and bring those topics to the round.
Yes.
About being a dancer.
Yes.
Being a man.
Yes.
Also being in church. Things
Mhm.
like that. So
Yeah.
those were some of the things that I enjoyed about that work, and that's what I used as my character
Yeah.
development. But you wanted me to talk about kind of segueing me back.
Yeah.
Segueing me back. You wanted me to talk
A little about what you're doing, but I tell you what, before we get into that, what would you like to see for African Americans within the theater space? What would you like to see more of or see more happening? I heard you allude to it earlier, how it seems like there was a rebirth or renaissance that's happening right now. So with that experience, I'd like to hear your perspective on what you like to see happening more for Black folks within the space of theater, and in closing, kind of tell the folks what you're doing and how they can follow you and hire you too if they need to.
Yeah, come on, somebody. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
In the Black community, I believe that we are oftentimes just closed-minded, and I want to say that we are closed-minded to certain things because of our cultural difference.
Sure.
Oftentimes we want to go see the shows that explicitly talk about Jesus and God sometimes.
Yes, Lord. Yes.
And we'll shy away from the works that maybe explore different types of masculinity in men or queerness. We oftentimes will shun secular artists in the Black community.
True.
Or, make assumptions about that, or or we just like a certain type of theater.
True.
Or, we'll go to the movie theater and only watch a certain type of movie. But
right.
I think in our communities we need to just be a little more open-minded.
Yeah.
Come to the table. I consider us all in need of a round table discussion.
I agree. Yeah.
We all need to let our guards down. This is not the same. This is not the same world that we saw in the 1950s.
It's not.
It's not the same world.
It's not
that it was in the 1980s.
No.
It's not even the same world that it was in 2010 when I graduated high school.
Ain't that the truth?
This is a different world and a different generation.
Totally different.
And because we're all coming from so many different backgrounds, even within the Black community, we have to be understanding of our psychological traumas being here on this soil from the time our ancestors arrived, and understanding the things that we've gone through to make progress, and not to stifle our progress because of traditionalistic thinking.
Sure.
To exist out of fear. So that's a multi-layered conversation that
I agree.
About to hit off, and I hope it's not breaking up.
It was, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. When you operating with Zoom, it's bound to happen.
It's bound to happen. Yeah, it's bound to happen. But
But you can repeat it. You can repeat it if you like. There probably was a little freeze in there in between, and you're gonna have glitches, but that's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
I was saying in our communities, we're dealing with so many things and coming from so many different backgrounds.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of things that we did in the Black community to survive.
Yes.
So we have a lot of resistance within our own homes, within our own families, our own communities.
Yes.
We don't want to see that Black family doing better than our Black family, or
I
don't want to go support this kind of show because it doesn't look like the regular stuff that we've seen before.
Sure.
I want to challenge our communities in the theater community.
Yeah.
More specifically, to just be more open-minded.
Yeah, I think that's good.
What I'd like to see initiatives that support young Black artists. They do it. They do it in the Arts Council. What I'm seeing, especially I've seen it in Greensboro.
Yeah.
I've seen some exposure happening in Winston-Salem in the fine arts buildings. And, I believe there's it's not Duke, but I believe it's there's a building downtown that they're showcasing different artists that are from the African diaspora.
Okay.
So that I work with one of them, Dwayne Starr's Theater Movement. That's been great.
Okay.
And so I just want to see those of us who say that we support young Black artists and next generation of artists. It's easy to press like and comment. You go, boy.
Yeah.
I want you to take some of that money that we'll spend on the shoes, and on the hair, on the clothes.
Yes.
And when you purchase a ticket to a performance, no matter whose show it is, you're supporting those artists. So especially something like NC Black Repertory Company.
Yeah.
When you go to the National Black Theater Festival,
come on,
support by buying a ticket to those shows, or performing in the Black Nativity.
Yes.
When you are supporting Black theater, not just Black theater,
but I got you.
Those artists who are people who love, support them, even if it's not something that you're used to. Yes. Expand your mind. I work with a collaborative known as the Artist Circle.
Okay.
Out of Winston-Salem, and so it's a platform for emerging artists.
I love it.
Poets, singers, and musicians.
Yes.
And I say, it's a space of healing because you can express yourself through those forms of creativity.
Oh my God,
And we create a community. So we bounce jobs off of one another.
I think that's awesome.
Perform.
That's needed.
What I'm doing now is, I'm just working to expand my career. I've recently booked the Aladdin.
Come on, man. Yes.
The Broadway hit musical, so that's happening.
Yes.
Some more things coming up.
Yes.
As you know, in this industry, things come
and
things change.
Yes.
So I want everybody to kind of stay tuned with what's happening.
Yes, sir. That's
what I'm doing, and I'm still looking to create a platform much like this for the Artist Circle, so that we can get those get some exposure for those talented folks.
Absolutely.
Challenging our communities to support those artists.
Hey, they welcome. They welcome to come over here, man. They welcome. They are welcome. They welcome.
I appreciate that opportunity.
Yes.
But, so I'm here. I'm an artist, and I don't have representation. I represent myself.
Hey.
And a lot of people, that's where a lot of people think is I gotta have an agent, I need a manager. I've worked with some folks, and I appreciate them. Their return will come one day.
Absolutely.
They'll never know. So
absolutely.
Thanks to them. But I will say, you can find me on Instagram at d.jerome_.
Yes.
My Facebook is Devonte Jerome. I go by D mostly. And my email is, djeromewells@gmail.com. If you need somebody.
Yes, sir.
I do have a price list. And the price, as Brother Chris said, is going up. But you're going to get what you pay for.
That's right. Hey, that's right.
So,
that's right.
Yeah, but it's been amazing. I've had an amazing journey, and And I'm really grateful to the universe for connecting us again, brother.
Man, wonderful, man. Listen again, this platform, it was created to motivate and to inspire. And in closing, if you could say something to motivate and to inspire somebody, to help them just become better through your words. And of course, we see it through your actions, but through your words, I'll let you have this last word and say something to encourage someone, to empower them just to be better. Whatever it is, that little black boy, little black girl, that family, that man, that woman, whomever it may be, to encourage them to keep pressing forward and reach to the top.
So, know that everything, well, firstly, I'd say everything that you need, you already have. Sometimes we want to reach outside of ourselves, thinking that more things or somebody else can do it for us.
Yes.
No. The one thing we have to do is believe that it is possible.
Yes.
Once you believe that it can happen, you open up your heart and your mind, and the universe will help you manifest what it is that you believe can happen and what you believe that you deserve.
Yes.
So number one, believe. Just believe. You can just believe on it, you don't have to have any special recipe for it. Just believe. Just believe that it can happen.
Right.
And just believe that it can happen.
Yes.
And you never know what can happen. And the last thing I'll say is I live by this motto. India Ari said it on one of her albums. She says, you never know where life is going to take you. And you can't change where you've been.
No, sir. You really can't.
But today, I have the opportunity to choose.
Yes, sir.
So I choose joy. I choose happiness.
Yes.
And I choose to believe that what I say can happen.
Yes.
Will happen.
I love it.
By the help of God.
Yes, sir. I lead
two scriptures, which Romans 8:28.
Yes.
And Romans 8:18.
Yes, sir. Hallelujah.
That's what I live on. I
yes,
know
sir.
All things are working together for me. And I know that anytime I suffer or go through, I know that it will work for me.
Yeah.
And it can be compared to what's to come.
And the church said amen on that right there, my brother. So listen, I know you guys have heard something today that can help you become a better you. This is the Rouse Cloud Podcast. I'm your host, Carl Rouse Sr. Make it a great day and keep being great. Peace.